Hey, how's it going everyone? This is the Anime Man. So recently, if you've been looking around in your local cinemas or even on online news, depending on where you live, you will see that there is, especially recently, although it's been around for quite a while, there's been especially a recent surge of live action anime movies. You know, recently speaking, the Parasite movies came out. Actually, there were two movies. The second one hasn't come out yet. There was the Attack on Titan live action movie that was announced, and there were all sorts of Hollywood adaptations of different anime that have been rumored to be released within the next couple of years. So I wanted to kind of explore this phenomenon that's happening right now. Why is there suddenly such a huge rush of anime live action movies? Now you might think that the simple answer would be something like, oh Joey, it's because the otaku culture and the anime community, especially in recent years, has spawned over to the Western culture, and so to cater for that, they have to make these live action anime movies, right? Now you would be right if you thought that, and if you're wondering why there are suddenly such a huge rush in live action anime movies, it really is because you're guaranteed to watch it. Think about it, the first time that you heard about, let's say, the Parasite live action movie or the Attack on Titan live action movie that's going to be released in Japan. Now, if you heard about that and you had seen the original series of either Parasite and or Attack on Titan, but you heard that, say for example, the Parasite movie was absolute crap. Like, it was a terrible movie just in general. Now, knowing fully well that you absolutely loved either the Parasite manga or the Parasite anime, but you heard that the Parasite live action was still shit, would you go and watch that movie? I'm sure that the majority of you would still say yes, because you'd want to go and see for yourself whether you think the movie is crap, or you would like to go and see how they adapted this story that you love from the original manga and anime. And that's the reason why there have been so many live action anime movies recently, because the movie industry has figured out that it is the safest way to make money. Why would they go through the effort of putting all that time and effort and money to think of new characters, a new story, a new setting, a new everything, when if they look over to the anime and manga world, they see all these stories and characters and settings that people love that haven't been touched yet. And that's the reason, especially recently, as to why there are so many live action anime movies and live action game movies. Movies like Aoni and Zero. These are stories that have come from games that we all love the story to and we all enjoyed watching. But then, of course, there is the negative factor in that 99% of these live action adaptations of anime, manga, and or games are usually really shit. I mean, I did a review of the Aoni movie recently, and I actually went to go watch the Parasite live action movie, the first one, when I was in Japan last year, and it was absolutely But to the movie industry, it doesn't matter whether I absolutely loved it or absolutely fucking hated it, because I still paid money to go watch both those movies. I still went to the cinemas and watched those movies, and to them, whether I came out disappointed or whether I came out absolutely happy, profit is a profit. But then the question arises, is it worth making a live action movie of a manga, anime, game from a series being absolutely terrible and then ruining the entire series completely? Apparently to the movie industry, they don't give a fuck, because they've made all these terrible live action adaptations that have kind of ended up ruining some of these series. Like the Aoni movie really ruined the series for me just because of how terrible it was. But then there are some exceptions, like even though I hated the Parasite movie, I still liked the manga and anime. So, it didn't quite ruin the series, but in the back of my mind, whenever someone says Parasite, I'll always think of the live action movie and being like, yeah, the series was good except for that movie. And so the overall value of that series, I believe, kind of gets dropped down a level to something that it shouldn't be in if that live action movie wasn't there. But then of course, once in a blue moon, they bring out an actually good live action adaptation of a manga and anime. Perfect examples, two that I can think of, is the first one being Gantz. Now that movie was just fantastic in general. I love the manga, I love the anime, and when I heard they were going to make a live action, I was like, ooh, a little bit worried. But I still went out and watched it because, that's what these kinds of live action movies do to you, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. That was a great movie. The second movie that I absolutely love, that's based off a beloved manga series of mine especially, is Samurai X, or Rurouni Kenshin. Now this movie was absolutely fantastic. It was a great live action movie. And just in general, like, it was a good movie in general, but it was made even better because it had the story and characters of Rurouni Kenshin, which is a manga series I absolutely adore. I want to hear your opinions about this, guys. Like, are you the kind of person that goes to watch a live action adaptation of a manga or an anime or a game just because you like that manga or anime or a game, whether or not you heard it was good or bad? Also, what are some series that you would like to see a live action adaptation for and won't be terrible? I'd like to know all that kind of stuff in the comments below. Anyways, thanks for watching. As always, like, if you enjoy, subscribe for any event. I'll see you guys next video, whatever I make. Keep watching anime. Ciao!